Hey everyone, I'm Andy Wike,
I'm Alan Britt.
and today we're going to be talking about some of our recommendations for beginning aromatics for those just getting into the pipe smoking hobby. So, Alan, as the customer service manager, I'm sure this is a question that you get asked a lot, or your team gets asked a lot. It's just, I'm brand new to pipe smoking. I want to get into the hobby. I've never smoked anything before. Where should I start?
Yeah, it's something we get all the time, like you said, and it's honestly one of my favorite conversations to have. Like many things, when you're dealing with someone more experienced, for a customer service rep, it can be kind of intimidating because customers aren't afraid to kind of call you.
Oh, sure.
When you have a newer pipe smoker, they trust us as the experts in this field to kind of put them on something they're going to enjoy.
Right.
Or at least put them in the right direction. I think aromatics are a great first step just because it's the quintessential pipe smoking experience. I think when most people, smoker or non-smoker, think of pipe, they think of your grandpa and that very nice chocolatey, vanilla-y, generic aromatic smell. But the blends that we typically recommend, or I like to recommend, are these handful that I think do a great job of representing that style of pipe tobacco, but doing it in a more modern way where the tobacco is the star and the topping is just an addition.
Okay.
Of all the 5 blends that I'm going to recommend today, they're all available in bulk. While some of them, like Autumn Evening, can be found in a tin, I think bulk is just the natural starting point for a new smoker. You can buy an ounce, fairly inexpensive, and an ounce is enough to smoke through that you're going to get a good idea of whether you really like something or not.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, bulk is a great place to try different blends. You don't have to commit to a 2 ounce or 8 ounce tin. So the first blend we've got here is probably the most recognizable, one of the most popular tobaccos in the world, and that is Lane's 1Q.
Yeah. This is what your grandpa, when you think about grandpa smoking that pipe, it was likely he was smoking 1Q.
Probably.
In whatever the shop that he bought it from decided to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the cool thing about Lane 1Q is that, it's really on its own, it's recognizable, but it also has been used as a shop blend for many years. You think about, maybe if you've ever stopped in a tinderbox or you've stopped in your local tobacconist and tried one of their house blends, like a lot of those blends were manufactured by Lane or Sutliff. And so 1Q is really sort of what a lot of smokers gravitate to. It has a very strong aroma. There's obviously natural tobacco there, but you really have a lot of like vanilla and caramel and these sort of richer notes that I think really enhance that experience of the Virginia and the Black Cav.
The reason I like to recommend 1Q, and this stands true for all of these, the natural tobacco is kind of the forefront of the blend. While the toppings are super pleasant and still, they're still there for you and the people around you, and they also burn well. We've all dealt with kind of sopping wet aromatics that it's more like steam than smoke.
Yeah.
And that was my first pipe smoking experience.
Sure.
And it kind of turned me off. I was a cigar smoker that went to pipes, and I had a bad experience and was like, this is too hard. And for a lot of people watching this video, I'm sure that was their experience. But these tobaccos will treat you well. And 1Q, it's just been around for a long time, and it's good. And that's why it's the best-selling pipe tobacco in the world. It's just good.
Yep, it's just good, and it's reliable, it's consistent, it's not one of those that you sort of have to like chase a batch or like this batch is different from the rest.
Yeah.
Like it is a very reliable thing you can buy in bulk, pack up your tobacco pouch as you're going places. So the next one on the list is Cornell and Diehl product. You've likely heard of it. It's Autumn Evening.
Yep.
Autumn Evening is just an exceptional aromatic pipe tobacco. There's so many things going for it that I just find super interesting as a pipe smoker. First of all, rather than a base of black Cavendish, it's actually a base of Cornell and Diehl's proprietary red Virginia Cavendish. So they're taking red Virginia leaf, high in sugar, fairly low in nicotine, and they're steaming it, stoving it, and basically turning it into a Cavendish. The top flavor of Autumn Evening is really this rich sort of maple, caramel, it's like all these autumnal flavors.
Yeah, it reminds me of pancakes and syrup.
I mean, totally. Anytime anyone's smoking it in the office, you can immediately tell, right? It's like, it smells like someone's making pancakes.
It's a tasty IHOP, or if you're in the South, Waffle House breakfast.
Waffle House breakfast, yeah.
It was one of the first blends I ever smoked when I was, getting into pipes as a customer at Low Country. Tyler, let me grab a pinch of Autumn Evening, and it was when I first started exploring. And it was the first aromatic experience I had where I got it, where this was a quality aromatic, and I understood what the topping did to accentuate the natural tobacco rather than kind of smoking flavored air.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just amazing. It's one of Cornell and Diehl's best-selling blends for a reason. People love it. It's got a cult-like following, and
and it's a really good representation of sort of natural pipe tobacco flavors that are enhanced with a top note.
Yeah, that red Virginia Cavendish I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of just working here at Loud Easy is walking back to Cornell and Diehl, and when they're steaming this red Virginia and putting it through that Cavendish process, it just smells like the best baked bread goods you have ever smelled.
Yeah.
And that comes across in the blend.
Yeah, for sure. So next up is actually a product from across the pond, despite its name. It's called American Delite, but it's a Gawith Hoggarth product.
Yeah.
And Alan, this has always been one of your recommendations for that sort of old school American style blend.
It's called American Delite for a reason. This is Gawith's interpretation of kind of that American style aromatic Virginia Burley Black Cav, the standard of a lot of American aromatic blends. And Gawith just does aromatics right. I love. You're probably more familiar with Gawith from their, more interesting or more avant-garde blends, the ropes, the plugs, the Lakeland essence blends. But this is just really well done. It's got that classic vanilla and chocolate and caramel.
A little bit of fruity notes going on too.
I do get like a slight cherry from it.
Yeah.
And it's not, I wouldn't put it in the same vein as like your classic cherry aromatic, but it's like a very slight dark cherry that I really love.
Yeah. And it's sort of just like on the back of the palate. It's not a sort of cherry bomb or whatever. But mostly it's this vanilla caramel with like a little bit of fruit.
Yeah.
But it's a really great blend. I also love what Gawith does with aromatics. Just in general, like that Kindle manufacturer is so unique in any family of tobacco that they produce. So it's definitely worth trying out if you're interested in pipe tobacco, if you're interested in aromatics, just sort of seeing what these different blending houses can do with the form. But yeah, American Delite, available in bulk. It's also available in tinned, I believe. But really good blend to try. All right, so the next up is a relative newcomer to this mix, and that's Rivertown Tobacco Works Custard Conspiracy. This is probably the darkest blend on the table in terms of actual color.
100% black Cavendish.
Yeah, it's 100% black Cavendish, but it's not like it's a different sort of experience than you would expect from an all black Cavendish blend.
Yeah.
The top note is really this sort of subtle vanilla sort of quality. There's a very creamy finish, but it performs really well in the pipe. And so this is also like a really accessible product, especially in bulk when it comes to price point. So, I mean, you can get a really solid vanilla flavored aromatic blend to start to see if you like it. And Custard's always going to be a rec for me.
We were actually commenting on, before we started filming, just how amazing it smells. If you're ever able to go to a shop where you can kind of sample things and, you know, stick your nose in jars or bags, do that. And a lot of us were just kind of spoiled that, you know, we're around here where tobacco shops are kind of a plenty.
Yeah.
But this, to me, Custard Conspiracy is quintessentially what I would want a vanilla tobacco to smell like. And just in this all black Cavendish blend, it's going to produce a ton of smoke. Cavendish acts as a great great carrier of flavor. It's a great vanilla that's going to burn well.
And then last up in these recommendations, we have Peter Stokkeby's PS24 Nougat. I think this is a really complex blend, actually. It's what I'm smoking in my little ROP here. Awesome room note. It's a blend of Virginia, Burley, and Black Cav. And the top notes are sort of this like vanilla and chocolate sort of classic profile. This is, of course, made in Denmark. And so you have a lot of different... What's really interesting about all of these together is that they're all aromatics, but you can kind of see how each blending house does things a little differently. Like from Cornell and Diehl's Autumn Evening to Lane's 1Q, Peter Stokkeby's Nougat, and then, of course, Lakeland, sort of Kindle manufactured American Delite. So Nougat's great. There's a good mix of bright leaf and darker leaf and a little bit of black cav, and so you get that body, you get that carrier that you were talking about, but also like a good bit of natural tobacco flavor.
Yeah, Nougat, in my opinion, is probably the least flavored of all of these on the table. So for me, the natural tobacco shines a bit more than the rest of the blends, but it's still got a very good, vanilla and chocolatey quality to it. I especially think the Burley's pretty prominent in this one. I just love it. It was one that my local tobacconist recommended to me when I was first starting, and yeah, it's kind of a homey experience to me. I think fondly of Nougat early on in my pipe smoking days. It was also unofficially the tobacco smoked on set during Lord of the Rings. So if you're a Lord of the Rings guy, smoke like Frodo.
So yeah, there you have it. Those are 5 really solid recommendations for anyone just getting into the family of aromatics. A variety of different blending houses here, a variety of different styles, working with the same sort of family concept. I think if you're interested in experimenting with this family of tobacco, any of these options are really good starting points, and then from there you can sort of branch off and try some other things. I also think if you do find yourself being interested about, like, I wonder, I've traditionally smoked aromatics, but I'm sort of interested in getting into more natural flavored tobaccos. I think all of these choices are really good sort of transition blends. Nougat and American Delite in particular, I think, and even Autumn Evening can really help you start to develop your palate for the natural flavors of pipe tobacco. And they're all available in bulk.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important part of it is, as a new smoker, I just encourage you to try as much as possible. These are just 5 good starting points, but what I would really recommend after this is finding the one you love and then kind of branching out from that style. As although they're aromatics, they're all unique in their own way. And you can always contact our customer service team via email or phone call. we're extremely quick to respond, and it's really our pleasure to help you out and put something in your pipe that you'll love.
That's right, man. That's the goal. That's the goal. Well, thanks so much all for tuning in, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.